4 prisoners in the cell, bringing us up to 7 so far this year. Citations issued, we issued 22 citations for traffic in April, bringing us up to 71 for the year. Non-traffic, 3, bringing us up to 4. Parking citations, 34, bringing us up to 296 for the year. Total citations issued 193 in April, bringing us up to 485. We had 6 traffic warnings, bringing us up to 34. 152 traffic tickets issued in April, bringing us up to 518. And 68 parking tickets were paid in the month of April, bringing us up to 146. That's what we can do. Thank you.
Aaron, fire company report?
The fire chief is helping his son move into his new home, so you get me. The fire activity report for April 2025, we had 37 calls for the month. I will spare you the breakdown that's in the report that's going into the minutes. Total hours service, 12 hours, 35 minutes. Total staff hours, 49 hours, 23 minutes. Cumulative firefighters responding, 113. And the chief just left a note that he's asking everybody refrains from parking on the firehouse ramp. Everybody says, I'll just be a minute. We don't know what's going to happen during that minute. And then all the no parking and everything, you know, a car can fit through, a fire truck, it's got to swing. And where a car can fit through, we will not. So just, you know, keep from blocking us from coming in. We're volunteers from coming from our houses and from the trucks from getting out. Thank you.
Board of Health, we'll be meeting next week. We did meet last month and discussed the search for the Borough Board of Health officer that is still ongoing, and I believe we will be discussing that again next week and coming to a decision, or they will be. We did have also a meeting with the Public Safety Committee for the 4th of July concerning the fireworks, as far as what worked last year, what we need to improve on this year, with help with the county. Dan Boyd's been very helpful with facilitating a lot of things and getting us Mobile One, which is a remote command center so that we can have everybody safe that night. We are also looking into increased lighting down there after the fireworks, obviously, so that people can get safely home. And I believe that is it.
All right. Thank you very much, Councilor Gillespie. Do we have any questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to accept. Councilor here, we have second. Second is Councilor McGinley. Comments or questions? Oh, you got it. All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, we are going to move to get our manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have submitted 2 grant applications. One is for the PA Small Water and Sewer Grant, and the other one is the one we just talked about, Greenways Trails and Recreation Grant, so we're waiting on answers for them. We did form our committee for the comprehensive study, the mini pros grant that we have received, so we will be meeting shortly for that.
Is that in connection with public health? The comprehensive study?
This is the mini pros grant.
The mini pros?
Yeah. We're waiting on the Rosemont Bridge grant. The contract has not been executed yet. We're waiting on that paperwork, so then we can soon start looking and starting to repair the Rosemont Bridge. The 2025 road program award is on the agenda for approval tonight. The cost of this project will be $38,620, which will be paid through liquid fuels. The e-waste and paper shredding event was on May 10th. They were both a huge success, and also the library held their book and bake sale, which also was a huge success. I can certainly vouch for that. I spent more money on the desserts than books. And then the 2025 tax anticipation note is on the agenda to be paid. This will help us save on interest costs because we are actually paying this off 6 months early. So that is a good thing. And that is all I have.
All right. Thank you very much, Trish. Up next, we will move on to solicitor report. Anything this evening, Trish?
Thank you, Mr. President. There is nothing new from Ernie today. However, as this is my first time here, I'd just like to introduce myself to the board. I was able to meet several of you before, but for those that I haven't met yet, my name is Stephen Long. I'm an attorney with the law office of Raphael and Cupio. Generally, I'm spending most of my time working with, as solicitors work for the schools and school boards that we represent, but I work very closely with Ernie to support our boroughs and townships. So it's very nice to be here for the first time meeting all of you, and want to let everybody know that if for whatever reason you were unable to get a hold of Ernie, you're more than welcome to give me a call or email, and I'm happy to help with any needs that you all have. So thank you very much for the
Be
opportunity.
careful with that offer, she'll.
Yeah, right now.
Always happy to
Do you
help.
have a cell phone number?
Easy today. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
All right, engineers report, Mr. Ken.
Thank you, Mr. President. Under the street resurfacing, I would like to just read into the record the bids that were received. So we had AF Damon, the low bidder, at $38,620. Moore Brothers Enterprises at $46,000.40. Charlestown Paving at $48,262.90. And Innovative Construction at $50,390. Just updates on the Rosemont Avenue Sanitary Sewer Project. Contractor was Agar Zool and Sons. They finished all the pipe work installation. Let that sit a little bit. They'll come back to the final registration probably in the next 30 days. We also received the okay from the County Office of Housing and Community Development to proceed with the next phase of that Rosemont Avenue Sanitary Sewer. So we're in the process of preparing the bid documents to send to them for their review. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much, Charles. And with that, we will move on to council business. As always, start on this side. Melissa, any questions here? Good. Yep.
We discuss our summer schedule.
So my 4th of July and summer
Okay,
schedule.
all right, let's start it on.
All right, you got anything else?
No, just remind everybody.
All right, then we'll go right into the summer calendar. Typically, we haven't had workshop meetings in July or August. And if we're gonna decide to do that, we just have to advertise that those meetings are not gonna be held. Our obligation is that we have one monthly meeting, which we would still make. Full disclosure, I will not be at the regular council meeting in July. We are traveling to do memorial for my father, so I will be halfway around the other side of the world. So, with that being said, do we want to cancel workshop in July, or have the regular meeting, cancel the workshop? Like, what's everyone thinking on this?
What we've done in the past was just the one meeting,
Yep.
and I always thought that worked well. June we do too, right?
June, we always do too,
Yeah.
so it'll just be July and August we cancel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna speak for everybody, but it's how we've always done it, and I don't see why we should change.
Okay, so cancel the workshop?
Yes.
And I just wanna make sure that no one has, we're gonna have a quorum, so I will not be at the July meeting. I will be out of pocket, so.
I think we should just travel with you to Hawaii for the July meeting.
We'll have it remote.
Say teams.
Yeah, we do teams. So as long as you guys are here, we'll have a quorum, there's no other vacations, then we can, all right. So then we will look to advertise that they are going to, cancel the July and August workshops. Mr. Solicitor, you may or may not know this, do we have to have a formal vote at the June meeting to advertise, or are we just able to direct the, borough manager to advertise when we cancel the meetings?
You're able to have the borough manager do that.
Okay, thank you very much. So, if everybody agrees, Trish, please put an advertisement in the paper that, July and August workshops will be canceled. All right, settle that. All right, up next on my list, 4th of July, big shindig. I am going to, do the games again this year, as I've always done. So, that'll be fun. We'll get that organized and we'll be ready to go. Do we have any volunteers on council who are looking to help organize the bike parade? Okay. Cool. So you guys will handle bike parade. As always, you start with the bike parade up at ABC Field. Everybody rides around, end up, hopefully they can avoid the dirt pile, and they end up here. Yeah. And then we will move on to the games that I will run over there. It sounds like public safety is working on the plan for the fireworks.
Well, yes, and then, the police, our fire chief also reached out to me regarding the 4th of July parade.
Okay.
His concerns
That'll be a
We could get creative and we'll just figure another way. That's a good.
Can we maybe possibly end that ABC?
That's what I was.
And start, see if we can utilize St. James for the starting point?
The issue is with ABC, I don't know if we have the microphone set up for watermelon contest and all that kind of stuff. I prefer the games over there, mostly because you guys give me a microphone and everything. But I just think that's sort of the tradition. If we can find a way for the 30 minutes of the bike parade to shut down those streets, that would be preferred, but I think we can have a conversation with the chief and see what he says.
Well, I mean, for the parade, aren't the fire trucks are involved, right? So they're already gonna have basically a crew on duty. So, like any other time, they would be able to
We won't be
access
there
it.
yet.
So I think this might be a situation where because they're involved with it, we could probably still make sure we open it up after it's done, because we have a crew here and most of the people aren't responding to the firehouse.
Karen, do you see an issue with you guys getting in and out if you're involved in the parade?
It's not so much for us, his issue was pedestrian safety, people parking illegally, so then, once we are here, if everybody parks wherever they want for it, then trying to get the trucks out is another issue.
Gotcha.
As far as the crew, yeah, we'll be there, so that part's not so much an issue.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mainly, I think, the pedestrian safety, the traffic, with the increased traffic that they're not using West Ridley or East Ridley. You're getting everybody's coming down in one section, and a lot of it may be frustration with people cutting through and trying to, get through as quickly as possible to get to their exit. And I know we've already had the chief, Thomas will tell you that we've already had a number of accidents at Swathmore and Ward. So it's already congested and the traffic cars are backing up at that intersection, so.
Alright, we'll have a conversation with the chief at the road.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's something maybe we could do down at the lake, the lower ball field down there. I'm sure there's power down there at the boathouse or
Yeah.
boathouse. Enough room for the games down there, or maybe start the parade in front of the Presbyterian Church and go down West Ridley to Constitution.
Alright, I'll have a conversation, see what he's thinking. So, alright. That is all I have, Jessica. Tim?
No, Council Business.
Shelley?
I just have one thing,
Yeah.
that kind of came up this week. I received a couple complaints about grass, mainly on Mine Street. One of them was a property that was actually already cited, and they were supposed to have the grass cut by May 14th. My question is, the grass it's now waist high. What's the process for code enforcement? Are they coming out, it was still the 19th and the grass was still.
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure the ordinance. So I know in years past, we talked about actually changing the ordinance to give it more teeth. So without looking up, I'm not sure. So,
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like from the email that I received from Trish, is that the property was being abated. But my concern is code enforcement is going out and citing them. Are they going back and routinely inspecting to make sure that it is rectified or not?
don't know that.
Because I know we also have the issue on Burke Avenue with the chickens.
So,
May I answer that?
yeah,
I have highway tomorrow, 538.
Yeah, which is perfectly fine, but my just concern is that no one's following up on the initial, the notice that they're getting sent. It's going till the 14th, and it was still the 19th, but nothing, it wasn't until a resident, spoke up. She actually posted on Facebook.
there
and
were
reached
about
out.
5 complaints total in the last 10 days. And I know that Ryan, I don't know about the two on your street, I can't speak to those. But I know that the ones that I received and I gave to Ryan and Trish, all have been taken care of. Thank you emails from the residents who made a complaint. I can follow up with Ryan and see what he's doing about those two properties and who have the addresses.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, I think it's just is there someone going back and checking into a complaint that's been filed, and if they've been cited, are they following up on
email to council, hey, this is the list that we currently have. And, you know, we would be able to say, hey, yeah, that,
They were cited on this.
instead of beating a
date.
dead horse, you know what I mean? Like calling, you know, 10 times over and over and over again. Just have a list and we have knowledge of what's going on.
You have knowledge, but I think the issue is enforcement.
May I interject?
You're good.
Starting this week, Danielle and myself are now doing a spreadsheet. We have taken that away from Ryan a little bit, for high grass. This way we kind of keep it internal and save us some money. So what we're doing is we're sending a letter, we have to give them the notice. If it's not, if they haven't responded and the grass has not been cut, then we're having our highway guys go in and then we make them from there. But yes, I would be happy to send, you know, a weekly list, if that works.
Yeah, cause I mean, like, the 528 was already cited, but, to me, none of us on council, cause I know Richard even mentioned it to me, 528, cause I think he got a complaint about it too. Being that we live over there, so. That's it.
All right. With that, we will close council business. And as always, we will open up public comment. Opportunity for any resident member of the borough. Please come up. You get 5 minutes. State your name and address.
My name is Mike Ratchet from 18 Partridge Avenue. I just want to thank everybody yesterday that worked the polls and also all the volunteers that were there. And a couple observations were traffic out here, just like everybody noticed. Chief, there's like a race course out here. Couple of talking points were, of course, the bridge, the Woodland Library, and of course taxes and all that. So I think that all the other comments are pretty good. So, and also I was a witness to an incident on Ward Street and Harrison Avenue, an accident. One of the residents locked up his motor scooter and fell and hit the ground. And like I know you're involved with 911, the 911 people were great. And also, Chief, the police, there were like 3 cars there within, very fast. I can't say how long, they were there fast. And also for the residents, the ambulance was there very quick too. So I know we had questions about ambulances and time and all that, and they were there, very pronto. So I'd just like to thank everybody. And also, the folks from Vault, thank you for investing in Ridley Park. It's much needed. I know businesses are not very easy to open. If you know about businesses, they're not easy. So just thank you for investing in a positive business in Ridley Park. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Cindy has 317 Burke Avenue. Who's in charge of the grass? Excuse me?
It'd be code enforcement.
Like, what, is it our grass, like
Cutting it in the borough.
Grass.
the borough grass, like the borough?
Or residents' grass.
Right. Who's in charge of that? The code?
That would be code enforcement.
Well, he doesn't do a good job then, because my husband called in, Mike called in, a couple of the other,
What do you got, Sandy?
Huh?
What address?
Hold on, let's not call out our neighbors. Can you give us the names after not the public? I just don't want to
I
call out.
can't give you the name.
Or can you give us the name after the meeting so we're not calling out a fellow resident of the public
I
meeting?
don't have the name.
Your address.
Johnson.
Okay.
Johnson.
If you
and
could,
You guys know it, Johnson and Burke.
I think I know the house, but I don't know the address. So,
I don't even know the people, they've been there 20 years, you never see them. But every year we have to call them, all they do is cut it when we, report it, and then they rake the grass up against the trees. And then the trees all die, which is, I don't care if they're, I just wanna know, cause if it's a code enforcer, he's not doing his job.
Shelley, I was thinking about, that might be a timer, because remember, I think we had it set up for Tuesdays, and we've had.
Possible, but I think there's been a problem with how you,
Okay.
anyway.
I turn it on every day and there's never anything
Yeah,
on
the
it.
messages aren't playing.
Okay.
So I didn't know if we were paying for that or what. I only have one more question. Do we have somebody in the borough that goes to meetings over to school board? And do they come back and tell you anything that happens? What I'm referring to is the taxes.
That's a different entity, they meet on Monday nights, the second Monday night of the month, or first Monday night of the month, so.
Do we have anybody that goes there?
I have gone, but not on a regular basis.
I contact, and she contacts me, Amy, Null, who's our school board representative, and she gives me, the updates she thinks are appropriate to pass on, but we can give more information on the happenings there.
But she gives you the information, but you guys don't give it to us.
Well,
Somebody has to do something about these taxes.
They
We're not
meet
gonna have a town.
first Monday of the month, and they're a separate taxing entity. And you come to these, I would go up there and let them know.
But if you do go there, you have to sign up to speak, so you do that in the
It's
beginning.
a little different process than us.
Good evening, Mike Dale, 51 Collier Circle. It sounds like there's a new process for grass cutting, and then you're gonna send out letters and, I guess follow up, and if they don't cut the lawn, you're gonna send the highway guys out, is that correct?
Well, that's what has been done in the past.
Do we get our money back, or?
We evade the house.
So what does that mean?
They're required to pay the fees back.
Okay, and do you do that?
If they
My
don't,
first year.
Okay,
if they don't, then a lien's placed on the property, when the property sells, that lien has to be satisfied prior
so
to.
you would place a lien on it if they don't, okay, thank you. The borough has not filed a tax lien, speaking of liens, on the Taylor Hospital property to recover unpaid taxes for the years 2023 and 2024. I'm intrigued, why don't we have a lien on that?
I'll look into it, but I'm pretty sure that they were on the list for an annual lien, but I'll find out. So we send all that over to Portnoy, so, I'm not gonna speak on it, but I'll take a look into it.
I didn't personally check, but somebody I know checked at the county, and they don't have any records of a tax lien on that one from either the school district or the borough.
I'll take a look, I have an idea of why, but I'm not gonna speak until I understand what that is. But we send that information off to Portnoy, who handles that process for us, but I'll check this.
It may be because of the tax appeal settlement that's
What,
outstanding.
I'm thinking that has something to do with it, and I can't remember the exact reason why off the top of my head.
Yeah, we still need to get an update on where that tax appeal stands now that the
Sitting
hospital's
with the
closed.
county.
It's what?
Sitting with the county, so the school district and the borough have agreed to that tax appeal.
Understand they haven't signed it. I understand on January 11th they filed for bankruptcy and that put a kind of stay on everything. So is that stay still in force or it's no longer in force?
I mean, that's your answer, right? The county didn't go through with the tax appeal and signing off on it, then they went into bankruptcy and everything just.
Yeah, I wish they would have signed it beforehand, then they maybe could have.
Yeah.
But I'm asking what that status, can you put then a lien on it now?
I
Because
don't
there's
know
no
off the
lien.
top of my head.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep.
response is nothing has changed. The ALS provider that was coming to us before was always based out of Norwood's firehouse. The name's changed on the side of the unit, but the response is the same. And that's gonna be the same until July 1st. There's negotiations in the scene how we're gonna go about keeping that unit in service, and that's just for ALS. This ALS is advanced life support, that's the paramedic unit. The basic life support ambulance, our main ambulance that has always been serving Ridley Park is Tinicum, and then our secondary would be Norwood. And that is still the same, that won't change going forward. They still have the staff, they have 2 ambulances that are usually readily available, pending they're not doing calls in their other locals. We're, at this moment, believe it or not, we're actually, I think, better for responding units at this moment than we were prior to this, because, you know, Crozier had a lot of stuff all over the place. Now we have different outfits that have come in from different jurisdictions. Montgomery County has sent units in that are now taking over. The one that serves us is based out of Keystone Ambulance, which is right there on 420. They're providing the Chester Pike corridor, we like to call it, the advanced life support, and make sure this doesn't affect this time, because I'm on that.
Yeah. You were more knowledgeable than anybody else, so that's why.
But I just, this way I can let everybody know, like right now, and I think Nick explained it, response is excellent right now. It is a little bit of a challenge to get trauma patients to a hospital and even get them to a hospital, but as far as getting people to the scene, that is right now, we're in pretty good shape, if not better shape. And I'm like I said, it's not perfect, but till July, right now, the county was able, you know, nice enough to step in and provide us with this, you know, basically stay for now, and who knows if it gets advanced a little longer. I don't know if there's talks about that, but we are having conversations about how we're gonna provide that same help, that advanced life support going forward. So right now, we're in good shape.
Thanks very much.
No problem.
I also kind of wish that would have been covered in, you know, the council agenda or whatever earlier, because, you know, I only have 2 minutes
No,
left.
I took 4 minutes away from that meeting. Give this
At
stuff.
least 3. Mr. Collins, last month I asked you about the 2023 audit and a listing of the accounts payable for the beginning of the year and the end of the year.
Talking about transfers?
Not necessarily. What makes up the balance of the accounts payable, you know, on the balance sheet at the beginning of the year and the end of the year?
I thought, well, so you had 2 questions.
Well, it was 2.
Yeah, so the original question, I think, was around transfers, going back to that. So, yeah, I looked into that one. But the accounts payable, are you referencing to the tax debt that was collected that we booked?
In other words, if there's $1 million of accounts payable at the beginning of the year, I don't know, let's say 800,000 at the end of the year. The question is, what people, you know, what entities does the borough owe money to, making up that $1 million or the 800,000, rather than just one number? What is making those up? Beginning of the year and end of the year.
So, where is this on the audit that you're referencing?
It's on the balance sheet.
Okay.
It would be the number, it'd be the balance for accounts payable, beginning of the year, end of the year.
Can you send that to me in an email, please?
Sure.
And I'll get that answer.
Sure. Also, okay, so, well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You gave your, in the finance committee or finance report, you know, beginning balance, income, expenses. The expenses are $1.4 million, you know, last month. That's extremely high, double, triple what it typically is. What was the main reason for that? I have to believe there was one huge payment, you know, 1.4 million.
Yeah.
A high percentage of it.
I think it was CDCA, right?
But that's only,
I mean, I'll give you another minute, maybe. I'll take a look off the top of my head.
I mean, $1.4 million for 1 month. It's rarely over 600,000.
No, in the months that we pay, I'll give you a minute. In the months that we pay CDCA or large bill, it should be, but I'll take a look at the bill list and I will let you know what the large number will be.
Okay, thanks very much.
What you were saying, it's 151,000.
Yeah,
So 151, okay,
I'll take a look.
yeah.
CDCA.
CDC, 700,000.
151,000.
CDC, that's not much. Anyway, first quarter must have come in for the EIT.
Correct.
You know, by now. So what was the figure?
Yeah. So far this year, and this is.
As of what?
As of 5/19 actually.
Okay.
We have collected a total of $444,562.47. In February, we collected $258. In March, we collected $3,635. In April, $105,670. And May, $334,998.
So year to date, 440,000.
444,562.
Okay. I guess obviously with our hospital closing down, we can't use that as a gauge for next year in the first quarter or as of May 19th.
We will say.
Okay. Last thing, $38,000 being spent for the roadway improvements, paving of the streets. It's never been mentioned. First time in a number of years, Mr. Collins, and reference to transparency. It has not been mentioned to date what those streets are.
I believe they were, but I'll tell you, it's gonna be Ward Street from Free.
I'm sorry, Ward from where?
From Free Street to Harrison, Ward, and then the rest of Harrison being finished from Ward to Eastwood.
And then the rest of Harrison, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so Harrison's being complete right by the church. So that, this way Harrison's a complete road. Harrison was done 3 different times, broken down in three spots, so.
Okay. Well, I'll put it another way. When it went out to bid, it was not announced before it went out to bid what those streets were.
Okay, thank you.
Let's hope that's improved for next year. For the next time, right? Thank you. Thank you, you too.
Yep. Anyone else? Going once? Going twice? Katie, come?
I'm here as a resident now. Katie Wolverton, 411 North Swarthmore Avenue. I'm sure you're aware, but the intersection at Ward and Swarthmore is a complete and utter mess. I see it every day when I walk home from work. There'll be people parked for barnstormers, and then you've got people trying to turn right, and people want to go left, so they're driving on the wrong side of traffic. I know Swarthmore is a PennDOT road, but if anything can be done to help the traffic there, someone's gonna get hurt in that intersection. It's just.
Can I comment on that? So, Katie, when we were putting together some of this, obviously you've been involved.
Yeah.
The no parking along with the fire company and the police department. We kind of had to do it on the run, right? We were told with a moment's notice that this is what we're going to do. So we reacted with over by the top lot,
Yeah.
making sure, because there was parking on, and I came down myself and sat on the apron with the firefighters, and we looked to see what was what. And when you put a barnstormers event, let's say,
Yeah.
and you have parking on both sides, you can barely get a car through, let alone an emergency vehicle, right? So that's why we did that side.
But this isn't about parking, this is.
No. I want to tell you the whole thing,
Yeah.
so it makes sense, right? So then in front of our hall, we blocked off the X's that were there, we made them a lot nicer.
Yeah.
So that way the ladder truck can make, that's the biggest one, can make the swing to go out. When we come to the intersection there, we were working with PennDOT. PennDOT promised us a temporary light that was supposed to be there. So we're still going back and forth with them. That wouldn't help with traffic, but it would help with our emergency responders to be able to get through quicker. When this all started, my suggestion, the chief will tell you, both chiefs would tell you, I thought that it should be a no left turn temporarily. We wanted to look and kind of see, because you don't know what's going to happen until you see. So I think with your feedback there, that maybe we should look into making it a no left turn there.
Okay.
And that would kind of make people go right. First of all, it's dangerous to make a left there anyway, right? But then it's even more dangerous now that you have signs that are 10 feet tall and you can't see around them and everything like that. So that may be the fix to kind of complete that whole area there, so thank you for the feedback.
Yeah, no
I
problem.
really appreciate it, but I just wanted to give you the whole,
Yeah,
you know.
it's,
We actually looked to make it all right turn, not even go straight.
Yeah, that's what I mean, I
Like,
don't know how
right
that would
turn,
work,
like,
but,
it's just,
yeah,
like, basically turning arrows.
don't go across.
yeah.
So you're talking right up the corner.
Just.
Once you, so have you ever seen the line that forms at the light to get to middle school? So you have a lot of people that are going that way to go, and I'm one of them on Tuesdays and Thursdays, to go left to Lakeview to do the student drop off. You're gonna force a lot of people into that middle school line.
No,
No, we don't.
no, we're talking
Down
right here.
Swarthmore.
Are we talking about the same?
I'm talking about the intersection right here.
Right here, this
Yeah.
intersection right past Barnstormer,
You can make it
you
a right.
must make a right.
Yeah,
Like,
we
that's
got
what
42
the suggestion was.
So yeah,
You're
so,
saying not to make a left.
so you got old people from the Shell Street neighborhood that aren't really Park residents, but they're our neighbors and friends that come in, all go, you know, this way, a lot of them go to Lakeview, all that way. In the mornings, a lot of them are the ones making a left to go down to Lakeview that way. If you force them down by the light to make a left to go to the middle school, and that's a bad traffic situation as is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm right in the middle, so I.
Yeah.
You're really limiting our way to get out of,
Yeah.
our little pocket back here.
Yeah, we really, if we can get the temporary light from PennDOT, I think that would.
So the temporary light wouldn't help with, it's not a traffic light, so it would only be for a preemption device, which on the fire trucks would activate it, and that would make the traffic on Swarthmore red, and then would give the fire truck kind of the right of way to come out there. Because coming out there by yourself, as obviously you know, because you make that left, you take your life in your hands anyway.
I have to, I come out that of my alley that way, and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
that,
lights were safe for public safety.
correct, it's not a traffic light.
Okay.
I just wanna make sure
I mean,
everybody understands that.
Maybe I don't know, comes down, we're just, there's nothing we're gonna be
Yeah.
able to do.
We have to deal with it till October.
Yeah. We are trying, we have looked at a million different, you know.
So.
Yeah, they
options,
school's almost out, so.
Yeah.
That'll be one less.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I usually like to be first, but that's okay. Any progress being made on Burke Avenue as far as the stop signs, the one-ways, whatever you guys were there, you and the chief were there? Any progress being made on that?
No, good thing. I was just asking.
Oh, yeah, good job. I wasn't there, so.
You're welcome to come over anytime.
I think that now that we got sidetracked with this craziness, we did go over, we do have ideas, and public safety has been meeting about a whole host of issues, not just fireworks or whatever, there's a bunch of stuff we've been meeting for. So I think now that this is kind of under control the best we can, I can present that to public safety and we can get something done pretty quickly.
I like that portable red light thing.
It is pretty cool.
Kids' rooms, you know, you put it on the red.
They're trying to say that they didn't say it, but I stood there and watched them say that they were gonna do it for us, so,
Okay.
you know, hopefully we get it.
All right, and Mike, did you get a chance to look at that?
I know which one you're talking about, and I put a feeler out there at PennDOT, so we'll see what we can get done.
We have a new one.
Huh?
We have another one.
We're pointing in the right direction.
It's not the only one, right?
Yeah.
Chester Pike and West Ridley.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're going to remember this. Hi, Marcia, her computer came up out there.
Oh, you're never here, and yeah. You always said that.
I'm always taking care of our daughter's dog. so.
Okay.
Just one question, are they still going to have the CPR classes at the Borough?
Yes, so,
I'm trying
Trish, you wanna talk
to
about it?
sign up for that, but I'm having
The CPR class?
a difficult
There was a
time.
sign up sheet.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is, I was having a hard time navigating through that. Am I too late?
No. I mean, I'll email, her name is Lauren, that is actually doing the CPR classes. I'll ask her, I need to ask her how many she's had signed up anyway, so you wanna give me her information, and I'll suddenly.
Do you want me to do it after work?
Yeah.
I'll give you- Okay, I appreciate that, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, I think that's like better.
She's gonna CPR me, so.
Come on, keep it rolling, come. Alright, I'm kidding, Mike. Anything else?
$750.47.
I will be the maker of that motion. Do I have a second? Second is Councilor Pinto. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve April 1st, 2025 workshop meeting minutes.
Maker of the motion is Councilor Collins. Do I have a second? Second, Councilor McGinley. Comments, questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve resolution for Greenways Trail and Recreation Grant.
Mike, will you make the motion? I will be the second. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor?
Motion to approve ordinance 2025-4, amending chapter 213 zoning, article 1, general provision, section 213-5, zoning map, district boundary lines.
Maker of the motion, I think, will be Councilor Pinto. Do we have a second? Second is Councilor DeLassio. Comments or questions? Seeing none? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve A.F. Damon as contractor for the 2025 road program.
Maker of the motion would be Councilor McGinley. Do we have a second? Second. Comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye. Table.
No, I think we can still keep this.
Okay.
Because we're going to sell it. It's just on this.
Gotcha. Motion to approve the sale of 2008 Dodge Durango.
Maker of the motion would be Councilor DeLassio. Do we have a second? Councilor Gear. Comments or questions? Seeing none? All in favor?
Aye. Motion to approve payment of the 2025 tax anticipation note to M&T Bank in the amount of $1 million.
I would be the maker of the motion. Do we have a second? Second